Right, so we last talked to Sindasa, who told us a little bit about the letter, and the letter of course did not end up going to the old Queen of Daggerfall, but it went to the new Queen of Daggerfall, Orbakai. And of course we could go and ask Orbakai, and who's the Queen of Gothrid, about the letter, but the letter was addressed to Mycenia, who was the old queen. So let's go and find her. Now she isn't standing up here. Through those doors are the dungeons. If you speak to Orbakai, of course she will start to get very upset that you have accused her of hiding a letter, effectively, although you don't really say anything. That's what she'll infer, and you'll get attacked. So where is my nurse here? Let's look in this doorway, because this doorway is again like a little room cupboard or basement, I guess, and pop round the corner and let's find her. This looks like my Nissera, that's who we want to speak to. Hello, I've heard lots about you. Maid says Orbakai opened a letter from the Emperor addressed to me. She never delivered a letter to me. I'd like you to investigate this further, Cat the Elf. It could be dangerous to poke in the affairs, even though she's my stepdaughter. Good, I've long had my suspicions about Orkai's loyalty to the Emperor. She is the daughter of a late King Cameron who ruled Hammerfell from his citadel in Sentinel. My husband, Lysandus, God rest his soul, died at Cregain, as did Cameron. Lysandus' body was not recovered. He has a monument erected there rather than a true tomb. The Emperor uses Victoria Hawksley as messenger in Daggerfall. She could be anywhere, however Victoria Hawksley is a member of Knights of Darken. Go to Daggerfall Smith in Charlton, ask for Dunville Galsey. Maybe know where to find Victoria Hawksley. Try to find out why a letter addressed to me was delivered to Orbakai. Right, so that gives us the next mission. The next mission is to go to Daggerfall Smith in Charlton and ask for Dunville Galsey. Dunville Galsey will then tell me about the courier Victoria Hawksley. Then these names are random names. They are not fixed names like Morgaya and King of Worms. They're just random names, surnames. And look at these inactivated people have started to come after me. As soon as I spoke to Mynesia, that's what's triggered off, and so let's just get out of here. Of course we could stay around and kill them, but I don't really want to go around and do that. Let's go to Charlton, which is probably around in Daggerfall somewhere, and let's go to Daggerfall Smith, I think it was. We'll be able to ask around once we get to Charlton. Hopefully it's a fairly small town. It's right in the north of the county of Daggerfall. Takes us a while to get there. Because this isn't the only quest we've got going on. We still need to, of course, go to see Gortwalk. Oh, this is quite a big city. It's not a small town like I thought. Looks almost as big as Daggerfall itself. There are still a few people wandering, so we can just ask them. Hello, this person stuck in a wall? People, where is this guy? Why would I want you to know? Fair enough. Quite unfriendly, but given the personality I have, it's not surprising. Doesn't want to tell the likes of me. Fortunately, we've come at the crack of dawn, so loads of people wandering around. Let's ask her. Heard that name, so they're getting friendlier and friendlier. They tend to get friendlier as you get closer to your target. So initially I was met with outright hostility. If you've got good personality, they will tell you immediately where Dunville Galsey. You'll find it that way east. So that usually means that it's quite a long way away. If it's a short distance away, they will pretty much tell you that directly. And we're looking for one of these orange buildings or shops because we're looking for a smith. So I guess it will be in one of the shopping arcades further on. When you fast travel and you travel cautiously, you'll always turn up in the morning. You'll never turn up at night. So there's always going to be people there. So we go east of us. Should we ask him as well? I think as we get closer and closer, eventually there'll be someone who will mark it on our map. Yep, I'll be best if I mark Charlton Smith on your map. I was told by my Nessia that it was Daggerfall Smith, but in fact it's Charlton Smith, so it's pretty far away from us right now. Let's just sprint over there. Daggerfall always seems to be raining. It's all kinda depressing and dank all the time. If you travel recklessly, this fast travel recklessly, you nearly always arrive at night, plus your health and magico isn't actually regenerated. And of course when you turn up at Daggerfall or a city with a gate, that can be quite annoying because you have to levitate over the city wall to get in. Or you climb over the city wall, one of the two. Okay, cool. So it's an actual smith, and what we can do here is, I think we'll have to loiter, unless, we'll have to loiter here for a little while. Loiter here for 3 hours, I think. 3 hours is a good time, then the shops can open. We can also sell off a few things in the smith as well as getting information from him. We level up as well, so we're level 10 now. Okay, pile everything into strength. Got a decent health and fatigue now, so pretty happy with that. I'm not going to put that many points into endurance. I hardly ever get that too damaged. So we have the smith who we're going to sell things to, and in the corner, which looks like a guard, that looks like Duncan Garcia, who will then in turn tell us where the courier is. So we need to consult both of them. Yes, it's a bit of a mess, it's a bit contrived, but it makes a difference from some of the dungeon quests that we have to wander up and do. Anyway, it does make a nice change. At least we're not wandering through another random dungeon to find where the courier is, or perhaps find where the courier's dead body is. So let's talk to the smith, let's sell a few of our items. Oh, it doesn't look like I've got too much to sell actually. That's a shame. Anything to buy? Some elven flails. Still got all this leather armor. Plus 1 is just leather armor and chain armor. Plus 2 is chain armor. It's not at all useful. Plus 3, that's an iron helm. Not useful. Let's just speak to Duncan then. I'm Duncan Garcia. I would not normally tell anyone who's not a Knight of the Dragon where to find Victoria Hawksley. However, Lord to Queen Marcella. In 7 days she is due to be at the palace I guess, in Charlton. Try there. So we're in Charlton already, and she will be there in 7 days. Now this actually is really annoying and confusing, because if you turn up, she stays there in the palace for a few days, but if you turn up late then she disappears and you failed the quest basically. And what's extra tricky is that he's lying. He won't be there in 7 days. She is in fact there in 3 days, which means if you turn up at 7 days then she'd have gone. If you turn up at 5 days, most likely she'd have gone by that time. So the best thing is, whoop, we suddenly warped because I had to load and I reloaded and skipped a lot of that, because what actually happened was that I waited 7 days and checked in my diary, and in fact I only had to wait. What I'd written in my diary was 3 days. She'd be at Charlton Palace in 3 days. So that guy actually told me something and I wrote in my diary something else. So that again is a bit of an annoying, irritating game bug, because if you didn't look at that you'd have just failed the quest and you couldn't complete it. Another horrendous Daggerfall bug, but reasons why you should save. Now let's go and find where this woman is. This place is quite... oh, there she is. Oh, I am Dunville Gersi. Well, she should be... this signet room proves that you need in service of Messenia. If I'm not mistaken, Orbkey is Queen of Daggerfall, not my Nessera. I take my duty seriously. I'd never knowingly deliver missives to the wrong party. So, basically it was a mistake. She also says that she's Duncan Garcia, and she is not Venetia the actual messenger, which again is another bit of a annoying bug in the programming, because yeah, that's all just messed up. First of all, I know people in Bethesda who did Daggerfall are no longer working for Bethesda. I think it's a completely different company. But the programming is completely lax, because not only did they not type in the correct amount of days, which is kind of essential, but they kind of mistyped the names as well, because essentially that is not Duncan Gowsey, because Duncan Gowsey was the guard in Charlton Smith. He was not the Emperor's courier, who was that woman in the palace. It's just that bugged me off a lot, because I was wandering in and out, wondering where on earth is this courier. I've waited 7 days, or waited 6 days, and kept on loitering for 3 hours, and she never turned up. And that palace is quite a big building. Searching up and down that building, of course, she's never there, until I checked my journal and found out I actually wrote down 3 days in my journal. So yes, highly irritating, but now you know that's the tricks it plays. That's how difficult Daggerfall is. Even if you follow the instructions, you will get tricked. Okay, so we have to go and tell Mynesria what's going on. All of these guys are friendly again, by the way, so they're all locked down. Until, of course, we speak to Mynesria again, and then they start activating. Whenever you speak to her, let's speak to her. Oh, now it makes sense. Eurosepton addressed the message to Queen of Daggerfall. When he sent it, I was Queen. By the time it arrived, Obkoi was Queen. We must find out what's in that letter. I never trusted Obkoi. Yesterday I received a letter from Princess Morgai of Wayrest claiming to know of the Emperor's letter. There's a family that seethes under the rule of the Emperor. Return to me if you find out who's got the Emperor's letter. Now you've proven yourself to me. I have a cloth amulet and you can keep. Yay, that cloth amulet is worth 15 gold, weighs 0.25 kilos. Useless, not even magical. So she's just given me a piece of cloth. That's kind of worthless. Right, so she's told us to go to Morgai because Morgai knows who's got the letter. Of course, we already know who's got the letter. We already know who's got the letter because we've spoken to Morgai of Wayrest anyway. So essentially, we shouldn't have had to do all this quest if the quest was being logical. Of course, it's not logical, but Orsinium will not be marked on your map until you have done all this, which is really highly irritating. So, because if we go to Wayrest now, and we launch all the way to Wayrest, what actually happens is that Morgai doesn't actually speak to you, which is a load of rubbish. It's because you've already done that quest. So it's a bit topsy-turvy. Basically, the order of the Daggerfall quest wants you to do it in a particular order. It wants you to go and do the werewolf quest and do the courier quest and then do the Morgai quests. Otherwise, the storyline doesn't quite make sense. Orsinium only appears on your map after, or you can go and wander and find it, I guess, or you can do other minor quests to find Orsinium. But it only appears after you've spoken to Mynesria, even though you know that Gortwog has got the letter. Anyway, this Iron City is Orsinium. It's more like a dungeon than a city. Let's get in there. And it's full of orcs who start attacking you straight away. Fortunately, these orcs are kind of easy. And what's he got? He's got a mithril sword, a mithril broadsword, so that's pretty nice for me. And a magical long skirt. We can take that, and we'll take your gold, but we'll leave you all the leather armor. That looks like a orc warlord. Just slightly tougher than an orc sergeant and an orc. He doesn't have much for us to take though. Just some gold. 770 gold, not bad. Gortwog is that cartoon character at the end. He's that sprite. He's also accompanied by an orc sorceress, or sorcerer. And another orc is coming as well. That's an orc, or is that an orc sergeant? Oh, I don't know. It's an orc. He only took 2 swipes of my sword. I wonder what he's got. 90 gold and iron pieces. Okay. Of course we could go around picking all that up. I don't need the gold myself. And let's just... Oh, he's turned invisible. But of course we can still guess where he is. He's got some sort of magical talk. Let's take that. Certainly a lot better than the cloth amulet we were given. So this is how friendly Orsinium is. Even though it's a city, oh, we accidentally took that, we don't need it. Everyone decides to attack you and try to kill you. Let's speak to Gorwalk. So Medora wants the Dust of Restful Death. Dust can be found in Greensley Hall on her own island. Tell Medora the price is her support of my claim to the heart. She'll know what it means. Right, I wanted to know about the letter, but never mind. We shall do this quest. Again, I thought I could perhaps do 2 things in one go, but obviously not. Let's get out of here though. We don't need to hang around here very often, and I'll see you when we go to Greensley Hall for the next mission.